Leigha. I've been asked a lot lately about chin stand or Ganda Bherundasana, so I'd like to break it down. It's really handy to have a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could fashion books, but you do want it to be a really steady surface and good support. So really thick pillows or even bolsters might do better, or rolled up mats might do better than books. But if you can get your hands on blocks, get your hands on blocks. So Ganda Bherundasana, let me just demonstrate it without the blocks for a second. It's basically, you can add it to your vinyasa flows. Let's say you're in a three-legged dog and you wave forward, you can lower down and come all the way in. Eventually you're bending your knees quite a lot, and then you can insert your flow right into it. Okay. So set your blocks up at the top of the mat, and you want them to be shoulder width apart. You're going to place your hands right in front of the blocks, and I want us to start in a little downward facing dog, but make your downward dog tighter than it normally is. You're going to walk your feet in just a little bit. Lift your dominant leg, whichever leg is more comfortable, and then test this out. Wave forward, and all we're doing is going to try to tap our shoulders down onto the blocks. The chin can touch, but it doesn't have to. And that's true in Ganda Bherundasana, that your chin can hover or it can be on the ground. Either is legal. You don't want to put too much weight into your chin because the compression, the discomfort on your neck. So what you probably discovered is that it takes a lot of strength to get your heart far forward enough to dip your chin down. And also that the tighter we get our downward facing dog, the easier it is to access chin stand, and here's why. If I were to start long and wave forward, my hips only get so high. But if I can cheat and just scoot in a little bit, all of a sudden when I lower, my hips are naturally higher. As a matter of fact, if I'm having trouble accessing this pose, I'm going to hop in even closer. Now, I don't want a loosey-goosey leg or loosey-goosey hips. I want to plug that leg right into the pelvic bowl. I want to plug the pelvic bowl right into my core, activate the back body, put my feet on fire, and then take just a little hop switch to start. And yours might be down here, a little hop switch, perfectly good, hop switch. And then as you gain comfort, hop, switch, hop, switch. Okay, let's take a rest in between. And we'll build on that in just a second, but let me talk a little bit about what this requires of your neck. I have a lot of students who just experience a lot of discomfort as they open the throat. So if that's you, you might just practice this kind of thing, a little puppy pose with your chin down on the ground. Using your hands as support or getting them out of the way. And giving comfort opening at the throat. And extending the cervical spine quite a lot. Once you build trust and strength in that position, chin stand becomes a lot more accessible. So let's try holding it this time. And you can use the blocks or put them aside. We'll set up in our downward facing dog. Take a small step in to tighten the dog. That won't always be necessary, but it's nice to access it at first. Stretch one leg high, keep your hips high, and then heart goes forward. Elbows go in. They kind of scrape your ribs. They're not underneath your body. It's not like a peacock pose, but they're very snugly close into the ribs. And then we lower down. Make sure your hips are high enough. Fire up the top leg, and a little hop switch. Maybe you even decide to hold. If you hold, legs squeeze together, feet are fired, and then slowly lower down. Getting rest in between. Let's do one more variation. Variation where you scorpion your legs. So your knees are going to bend, and you'll try a back bend, and only if this is comfortable for you. So if you sense that there's something intuitively wrong with the weight being borne on your chin, or you don't yet have the arm strength, work within your limits. We'll find our way back into downward facing dog. Imagine we're traveling through a flow. We're going to lift one leg high, wave forward, Ganda Bherundasana, bending both knees, heart sinks, hamstrings engage. and squeeze, and then lower out. That is a lot of arms, a lot of shoulders, a lot of back. So if you're not quite there, work on chaturanga, and chaturanga with nice form. So the heart is forward. And also work on locust poses, activating the back body, because it's all back and glutes to get your legs up overhead. I'll show one more time, just as though we were traveling through a vinyasa sequence, so sweetly. Maybe a really traditional warrior one, warrior two, tipping to peaceful warrior, and then rolling down. Stretch your right leg high. Vinyasa flow your way. Maybe Ganda Bherundasana. Then downward facing dog. I really, really hope this helped. If you have any more questions, please do leave them in the comments. I'm reading them all the time. If you liked what you see or want to see more, comment, subscribe, like, and stay in touch. Thank you so much. Namaste.